The pension crisis and an aging population. What could this mean for your money? That's going to be the topic of today's video. Okay, so if you're an expat or a high net wealth individual in particular, go over to adamfire.com. Now, on this particular video, I'm going to talk about the aging population and a potential pensions crisis. Now, in many parts of the world, we have an aging population. 15, 20 years ago, it was more Germany and Japan and one or two other countries. And it was very much spoken about in future tense when it came to the UK and some other countries. But what's interesting is now, pretty much every single developed country has an aging population. Even the US, which even 15 years ago had decent demographics, many young US people don't want children now. And even plenty of mid-income level countries like Thailand, China and beyond are having big aging populations. I'm going to make a video on China about this issue pretty soon. So what's interesting is there's different countries and different pension systems, of course. Some countries, of course, don't have much of a pension system. But if you take the UK and many European countries, very much the pension system's like a Ponzi scheme. Now, when I say a Ponzi scheme, I don't mean it's a fraud, because when people hear the word Ponzi scheme, they think it's a scam. But what I mean is literally it's a Ponzi scheme. So the way the welfare state was set up after 1945 in the UK is that basically younger people would support older people. So more young people in the workforce, their taxes would support older people as they retire. But the issue is now there's more and more older people, and even though some governments have taken measures to go past this, and certainly companies have. So for example, final salary pensions are no longer typical. Many people have to invest in investments linked to the stock market. The point is, it's still the case that some of the benefits are linked to this Ponzi scheme principle that's going to be harder to basically retain itself. Even now, the age of retirement where you can actually take a government pension is always increasing. So what's interesting is I think there's going to be numerous trends. First of all, people are going to have to look after their own wealth, their own pensions and so on, because if you put all your eggs in the government basket of keeping to their promises, you're going to probably be disappointed because the age of retirement is going to keep going up over time. Second of all, I do think industries that are dealing with the aging population could do very well, of course. So for example, some of the technologies that we have like AI and so on, anything dealing with an aging population, those kind of technologies could do well. So for example, health technology, health tech is one area that could do very well. And we're going to have to completely change how we live as a society. So what's happened in Japan as well could happen to other countries around the world as well. So it's going to be a very interesting couple of decades, but there is going to be opportunities as well as threats as well. I mean, people who invest in the right areas, who take advantage of their opportunities to invest their own money could do very well. I think people who will struggle will be dependent on the old system and the old ways of doing things. I mean, the way of doing things that existed for so long, where you got an old age pension or equivalent and you had the company pension, which was linked to a final salary, that's came to an end now, or it's coming to an end over time. So I think when many of the people who are watching this video are older, basically the old age pension in many European countries either won't exist or the benefit will keep getting lower over time. How can I help you? In two ways. First of all, are you an expat, a high net wealth individual, or just somebody who lives in a part of the world where it's difficult to get access to quality investment solutions? In which case, go onto my website on adamfire.com and find out more. If you don't fit into any of those categories, then in which case there's a range of free material on my website, on this YouTube channel, and indeed on my Quora, where I get over 200 or have received over 231 million views in the last few years. And finally, if you want to actually read my thoughts in more detail, go onto Amazon and find my book on there.